Good morning, Monday morning. We are up, we are at it. We should be feeling quite well just because we were had a wondrous night last night. We slept well. Our eyes are open. We are awake. We should be fully moving. So it should be a glorious day. And if it is not, go back and say, thank God for allowing me to wake up. And then you should have a different mindset about the day. I am happy, wondrous, joyous, just glad to be awake, glad to be up this morning. Continually allow your light to shine, be blessed, and be a blessing. Um, you can always hear something. You could actually already know it, but it's like once you hear it, it's just something profound. Just like a light bulb goes off. Per se. Hey, good morning, Ross, and I hope you're doing well this morning, cousin. But it was a gentleman. He was talking about the three types of relationships. And he mentioned one was anchored, one was sinking, and one was sailing. And when you think about being anchored, you're thinking about being, maybe tied down as far as not being able to move. Holding something in place where, it will not drift away, it will not move. And that was something profound to me because, when you think of anchor, sometimes we think about, how they do the ships. It has an anchor on it. They let that anchor down. It goes all the way fully down to the bottom. That anchor, grips down, deep down into the ground to where that ship will not move. But in relationships, you think about, okay, I'm anchored in this relationship and that should be good. But the way he said it, it was like, no, being in an anchored relationship is not good because, sometimes, you're stuck. You're not moving. You're just being the same way constantly. There's no growth, no changing of the mindset. Sometimes you're being self-centered or selfish. And that was profound to me because I hadn't thought about it like that. When you think about relationships, you're like, oh, I'm anchored, we're good, we're not going anywhere. But who wants to be stagnant in a relationship? Who wants to not change? Who wants to be the same? You've been in a relationship for 5, 10, 15, maybe even 20 years, and yet you're still the same. The same mindset. There's no growth. You may be growing, but that other person, is still the same. You cannot stay the same in any kind of relationship. The only true relationship that you need to be anchored in is in the relationship that you have with God. Now that relationship should be anchored. That should be no moving at all. Just like it says in 1 Corinthians, I think it's 15 and 58, it says, steadfast, unmovable. Now that relationship that you have with God, that should be an anchored relationship because that's one relationship you do not want it to move at all. You want to be anchored in His Word, doing His will, being able to give Him His glory that He is so rightly deserves. And then they were also talking about a sinking relationship. That's when two people kind of start out going towards the same destination, but due to events, it's fractured or ruptured. When it sinks, it drowns all the passenger it involves. It's not just the person that's in that relationship, it's everyone that's connected to the both of them. It can be due to maybe a toxic relationship. Sometimes, stuff gets into your mind and poisons you and it destroys every good intention that you have. But, it's also something to remember that God brings people into your lives to bless you. But what about the devil? He can bring people into your lives to throw you off a track, can harbor distractions. So that's something that you have to be mindful of. Sometimes, the lack of paying attention to the other individual in your life, the lack of maintenance. Just like you have a car that breaks down. When that car breaks down, you have to take it to the shop and get it fixed. But what about relationships when they break down? What are you going to do? Are you going to just be content and just say, oh, whatever, I'm not worried about it, it'll fix itself? No, you've got to put in the work to make the relationship work. A person can be hurt and be upset, but you can't be nonchalant about it. You can't just say, well, oh well. You have to put in the work. You have to put in the time. Just like if anybody knows anything about a garden, you have to go out there. You have to not only make sure and look at the weather outcast to know that the sun is going to shine, because you got to have sun to make anything grow. You got to make sure that there's water. You have to go out there and maybe pluck the weeds out of the garden. When your harvest comes up, you got to go out there and make sure that, if it's ripe, it's time to pick it, to make room for something else to come up in that same spot. So anything takes the time to nurture and to love. And then it said at the last one, it was a selling relationship. That's when that relationship is rewarding, it's beneficial. Everybody knows their role. The man knows his role in the relationship. The woman knows her role in the relationship. If something happens, you have to have communication, have to be able to sit down, be able to work out your problems. Everyone is seeking the benefit for each other. You're adding life and substance, not only to that other person, but to your experience together. But like I said, when he was talking about it, that was just profound to me, because like I said, you probably already think about it, but when somebody kind of brings it to your attention, and then that's when you truly, kind of start thinking about things. So that's a self-reflection. You need to evaluate your relationships. It is not just on a personal level. It doesn't just have to be like between a husband and a wife. It could be friends. It could be mother and children. It could be father and children. Just take a reflection of the relationships that are in your life. Oh, good morning, Gwen. How you doing, love? That's my other sister. So good morning to you. And I'm just saying, just take a reflection of your relationships. What kind of relationship do you have? Is it an anchor relationship that's stagnant, not moving, just stuck? Is it a sinking relationship, toxic, constant strife, constant bickering? Or is it a selling relationship, a relationship that God is truly going to get blessed to be a union of? So that's just something to just think about this morning. Like I said, it was just profound to me, and I just kind of wanted to talk about it this morning, because like I said, we had never thought about it. Sometimes it takes a person to just say something and just kind of break it down a little bit for our understanding, and then you could have a total different perspective of how it actually is. So with that being said, everyone should be up and at it this morning, getting ready to go to work, school, or wherever you may possibly be going this morning. Just remember to always, constantly, continually allow that light to shine and be a blessing to someone and to others. So with that being said, everyone be blessed and have a wonderful day on this glorious Monday morning.